Most travelers come to Colombia expecting colorful cities and beaches. But beyond the famous postcards are valleys filled with the tallest palm trees on earth, mountain towns hidden in the clouds, coastlines surrounded by jungle, and places where every region feels like a different country. And most visitors never see all of it. Colombia isn't just one destination. It's a collection of completely different worlds, each one revealing layers that contradict what came before. What people think Colombia is. When people think of Colombia, they often imagine colorful streets, tropical beaches, coffee, and lively cities. And that version absolutely exists. Cartagena's colonial walls glow at sunset. Coffee farms stretch across rolling green hills. Medellin's modern skyline rises between mountain ridges, and Caribbean beaches curve along northern coastlines where music spills into the streets. But Colombia changes quickly once you move beyond the most famous places. Mountains replace coastlines, jungle replaces cities, and small towns reveal an entirely different atmosphere. The country feels much larger and more diverse than many travelers expect. It's as if Colombia refuses to be defined by a single landscape or culture. Instead, it shifts constantly, offering something entirely new every few hours of travel. Medellin, the anchor. For many travelers, Medellin becomes the starting point. Surrounded by mountains, the city combines modern development with local culture in ways that feel both progressive and deeply connected to tradition. Cable cars climb above neighborhoods, connecting communities that once felt isolated from the city center. Parks and public spaces stretch across hillsides and valleys. And the weather remains comfortable throughout much of the year, earning Medellin its reputation as the city of eternal spring. But Colombia stretches far beyond the city. And once you leave Medellin's urban energy behind, you discover that the country's true diversity lies in the contrast between regions, climates, and cultures that exist side by side. Cartagena, the Caribbean side. On Colombia's northern coast, Cartagena reveals another side of the country entirely. Colonial architecture fills narrow streets where every corner seems to hold a story centuries old. Balconies overflow with flowers in shades of pink, orange, and red. The Caribbean atmosphere feels energetic, warm, and layered with history that remains visible in every building, plaza, and fortress wall. Music, food, and history blend together throughout the city in ways that make it impossible to separate one from the other. Cartagena doesn't just feel different from Medellin, it feels like a different country altogether. The pace is slower, the heat is heavier, and the culture carries a distinct Caribbean flavor that sets it apart from the rest of Colombia. Cocora Valley and Coffee Region. In central Colombia, the scenery changes completely once again. Cocora Valley is home to some of the tallest palm trees on Earth, rising up to 200 feet above green hills that roll endlessly into the distance. Massive wax palms tower over farmland and forest, creating a landscape that feels almost prehistoric in scale. Nearby coffee regions stretch across mountain landscapes where small farms produce some of the world's most recognized coffee beans. Small towns sit among valleys covered in farmland, their brightly painted houses dotting hillsides like colorful confetti scattered across the green. This side of Colombia feels slower, quieter, and deeply connected to agriculture and tradition, and completely different from the coast. Here, the climate is cool and often misty. Clouds drift through valleys in the early morning, and life revolves around cycles of planting, harvesting, and processing coffee beans that have sustained these communities for generations. Most visitors leave Colombia thinking they've seen it, but the deeper you explore, the more it changes. The coast gives way to mountains, cities dissolve into countryside, and every region reveals a different version of what Colombia actually is. If you enjoy discovering destinations beyond the obvious, this channel is built for that. Not just for seeing places, but for understanding the layers beneath the surface, people and daily life. One thing many travelers remember most about Colombia isn't only the scenery, it's the people. Town squares remain gathering places where families meet in the evenings, friends share conversation over coffee, and children play under the shade of old trees. Music often becomes part of everyday life, not just performed on stages, but woven into street corners, living rooms, and celebrations that happen spontaneously. And communities feel closely connected in ways that surprise visitors from more individualistic cultures. Visitors often describe the atmosphere as welcoming and energetic, noting that conversations with strangers feel natural and that invitations to share meals or join gatherings come easily. Hidden landscapes. Beyond Colombia's better-known locations are landscapes many visitors never expect. Cloud forests cover mountain slopes where biodiversity rivals some of the richest ecosystems on the planet. Roads wind through valleys and hills, often unpaved and surrounded by wilderness that stretches for miles without interruption. Small villages appear between mountains, their houses clustered together as if seeking shelter from the vastness of the landscape around them. Many of these places remain largely untouched by international tourism, existing in a rhythm that predates modern travel infrastructure. And every region seems to reveal something different. In the Amazon basin, rivers carve through dense jungle. In the Andes, high-altitude paramos create environments found almost nowhere else on Earth. Along the Pacific coast, rainforests meet beaches where sea turtles nest and whales migrate past during certain months of the year. Colombia's geography is so varied that traveling a few hours in any direction can completely transform the environment around you. Food and culture. Colombian food reflects the country's diversity in ways that become immediately obvious once you start exploring different regions. Regional dishes change across different parts of the country, shaped by climate, geography, and cultural influences that vary dramatically from coast to mountains to jungle. Arepas remain common throughout many areas, but their preparation changes. On the coast, they're often stuffed with cheese or egg. In the interior, they're grilled and served plain alongside meals. Fresh tropical fruit appears almost everywhere. Mangoes, papayas, guavas, lulo, and maracuya sold at markets and street stalls. And coffee continues to play an important role in daily life, not just as an export, but as a social ritual shared between friends and family. Meals here often become social experiences shared with friends and family, lasting hours and centered as much on conversation as on food itself. Why travelers are looking beyond traditional routes. Travel in Colombia continues to evolve as more people discover what exists beyond the most famous destinations. Coffee regions where you can walk through farms and learn about processing methods directly from farmers. Mountain towns where tourism infrastructure is minimal and daily routines remain largely unchanged by outside influence. And experiences that feel slower and more personal, allowing time to absorb the subtleties of a place rather than rushing through it. Because many people are now searching for places that feel authentic, not just famous. They want to understand how communities actually live, how traditions persist, and how landscapes shape the rhythms of daily life in ways that can't be captured in a single photograph. Who this side of Colombia is for. This side of Colombia is for travelers who enjoy contrast and aren't looking for a single-note destination. For people who want mountains and coastlines in the same trip. Cities and countryside without choosing between them. Energy and slower moments balanced in ways that create a richer overall experience. Colombia offers all of it, often within a few hours' travel of each other. It's for those who appreciate complexity, who want to see how different cultures and ecosystems coexist within a single country, and who are willing to venture off well-worn tourist paths to discover what lies beyond. Colombia isn't just colorful cities and beaches, it's mountains, communities, traditions, and landscapes that quietly change from one region to another without announcement or fanfare. And once you move beyond the obvious places, you realize how much more there is. How many versions of Colombia exist beneath the surface? How many stories remain untold? And how much depth waits for those willing to explore it? Subscribe for more journeys beyond the tourist version. What part of Colombia would you explore first?